Hi Mikaiketsu channel. I'm writing this to share with you my experience of the so-called afterlife. It happened one late night when I was driving home from work. The roads were nearly empty, the kind of eerie quiet that makes you feel like the last person on earth. The sky was a deep shade of black, with no moon in sight, only the occasional flickering of a streetlight struggling to stay alive. The highway stretched out endlessly, leading me to an old bridge that had been there for as long as I could remember. The bridge was narrow, its steel beams rusted, its cables strained from years of wear and tear. I had crossed it 100 times before, but that night, something felt different. The air was heavy, thick, as if the world itself was holding its breath. I glanced in my rearview mirror and saw headlights shining too brightly. An enormous truck was following behind me. It was moving too fast, much faster than it should have been. I could see its size, its weight, and I knew instantly that it was far beyond the bridge's limit. The warning signs were clear, no heavy vehicles beyond a certain tonnage. But the driver either didn't care or didn't see them. I gripped the wheel tighter, my heart beating faster with each second. The bridge creaked beneath us, a deep groan that sent chills down my spine. My breath came in quick gasps as I contemplated whether to speed up or slow down. Either choice seemed futile. Then it happened. A sharp, thunderous crack split the silence. The bridge shuddered violently. I felt my stomach drop as the road beneath my tires vanished. My car lurched forward, weightless for a moment, then plummeted. Cold wind rushed past my face. My scream was lost in the chaos of crashing metal and breaking concrete. Darkness swallowed me whole. I don't know how long I was unconscious. It could have been seconds. It could have been hours. But when I opened my eyes, I wasn't in my car. I wasn't in the river below. I wasn't anywhere I could recognize. Instead, I was standing in a garden. The most beautiful garden I had ever seen. The sky was a soft, glowing white, not a sun nor a moon illuminating it, just pure light. Trees stretched high, their leaves shimmering in hues of gold and silver, rustling softly in a breeze I couldn't feel. Flowers bloomed everywhere, some familiar, some impossible, colors I had never seen before. The air smelled of everything sweet and warm, like childhood memories and forgotten dreams. A stream ran through the land, its water clear as crystal, gliding smoothly over silver pebbles. There was no sound except for the gentle whisper of flowing water and rustling leaves. For a moment, I felt at peace. No fear, no pain, just a deep sense of calm. The kind of serenity that makes you forget who you are, that makes you wonder if you were ever truly alive before now. It felt too perfect, too unreal. Then I saw her. She stood by the stream, watching me with a knowing smile. Her hair was long, dark, and flowed like silk over her shoulders. She wore a pale dress that swayed though there was no wind. Something about her felt familiar, like a face I had seen in a dream long ago. When she spoke, her voice was soft, warm, but urgent. "Maria," she said. "You shouldn't be here." I frowned. "Where is here?" She didn't answer right away. Her dark eyes flickered past me, her expression growing serious. I turned to follow her gaze, but all I saw was more of the glowing garden. "You have to go back," she said, stepping toward me. "The dark is coming." I felt my chest tighten. "What dark?" She hesitated. "There isn't much time." She reached for my hand, her touch warmer than I expected, solid, real. "You don't belong here. You're still meant to be where you came from. But you have to go now, Maria. If you wait too long, you won't be able to." I wanted to ask more, but then I saw it. A shadow. Not a regular shadow, but something alive, creeping from the edges of the garden. It moved like smoke, but with purpose, swirling and stretching, growing larger with every second. The light of the garden didn't touch it. It swallowed everything it reached. Fear clutched my chest. Every part of me screamed that if that darkness touched me, I would never wake up again. I would be lost forever, swallowed whole. Lorna, she had told me her name was Lorna, squeezed my hand. Run, I turned and ran. As we ran, Lorna spoke urgently. Maria, listen to me. Your body is in a coma right now. The crash didn't kill you, but you are close. Too close. Her voice trembled slightly. The longer you stay here, the weaker your connection becomes. The dark isn't just something to fear. It's the end. If it takes you, you won't wake up. I just ran as far as I can, as further as I can from the dark. But I did not know where I was going. I don't remember anything other than my name, and that nice lady's name. I'm Maria, and she is Lorna, but I don't know myself. I don't know where to go back to. Then I heard someone calling out for a name. They are screaming out Ria. It's a male's voice. At first, I did not recognize it. But then I remembered. I'm Ria, and the only person that calls me that is my husband. Then it remembered. Terror surged through me. A coma? My real body was still somewhere, unconscious, slipping away. My family, were they waiting for me? Were they praying for me to wake up? I suddenly felt a sharp pang in my chest, the desperate need to return, to see them again. The trees, once radiant and full of life, started to wither as the darkness neared. The golden leaves curled into ash, disintegrating before my eyes. The stream, once clear, turned black and sluggish, like ink spilling across the land. Everything was dying, and it was because of that thing behind us. Then, ahead, I saw it. A door. Just standing there in the middle of the garden, wide open. On the other side, I saw flashes of something familiar, broken glass, rushing water, flashing lights. I could hear voices, distant, muffled, but calling my name. I knew what it was. Go, Maria, Lorna shouted. She let go of my hand and pushed me forward. I stumbled. The darkness was too close now, the cold pressing against my back. My legs burned, my breath ragged. I reached out, fingers outstretched, and then I gasped. Air flooded my lungs as if I had been drowning. My body was heavy, wet, aching. Voices shouted around me, hands pulled at me. Bright lights flashed above. The world was loud again. My husband and my 2 kids are waiting for my return. As I opened my eyes, I saw them, relieved. The next thing I knew was that I was at the ear. They told me that what happened was a miracle. Accidents to that degree are normally unsurvivable. But I know that I really did die for an instant, and the garden that I saw was probably the borderline between the dead and the living. As I'm writing to you now, I'm happy to announce that I'm doing well, and am currently still recovering from the accident. And listening to the chilly stories that this channel is putting out every week gives me a little bit of strength to go about my day. Thank you for reading my story. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like and subscribe. I will see you again next week.